What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Proclaim back again with another Destiny Rising build video for the new character that you can now obtain in Act 2 of the season, Rossi-11. Now everybody is going for Hellhest, the fan favorite, but I'm telling you guys right now, you need to get your hands on Rossi-11. Like, first of all, this guy looks like a beast. I got that ornament on, that red demonic look. But aside from that, guys, in this video I'll be going over the best build guide, including the artifacts, the weapon loadout, how to play the kit, and why I think it's very viable in the current endgame meta, obviously, but also for future activities. Like, this is going to be very viable in any future raids that come out. So the most important thing to go over first is the relic abilities, just so you guys understand why I think this character, has what it has, and you know all those things that makes it S tier. So starting with the first relic ability, Arc Cage. Rossi-11 throws an arc orb forward. Once it hits a combatant or terrain, it will pull in and inflict confined on nearby combatants, then generate a arc cage that blocks incoming projectiles. Now, what is confined? Renders combatants immobile. What does that mean? Well, there's the video there, but what's the point of me making this video is to show you guys what that means. So we're just gonna look at that first relic ability real quick. Put 3 enemies just to give you guys a real quick example, but basically it's like a suction thing. Like, I would think of like a warlock, and you see all of them are in there and they're immobile, and they also can't shoot me, which you guys are gonna see in gameplay. So the second signature ability, Rossi-11 launches an arc thread, dealing damage to combatants it hits and granting Rossi an overshield. Now, this is why it's known as a defensive character, which people are going to probably shy off of because they love offensive characters and DPS characters. Yes, this is not beating a Tan 2, but that factor of being able to stay alive so easily and playing your game from range is absolutely insane. So you can actually combine both of those things in a way, as you can see right there. And if you look at the bottom, I got 50% overshield just off using one of those second signature ability, which is called the thread flow. So those are the 2 signature abilities. Now the super is what really impressed the fuck out of me, because Rossi-11 builds a photoelectric gate before them that blocks incoming damage. So this blocks incoming damage. This also blocks incoming damage, the arc cage. But this, using the super again, will launch the gate forward, dealing damage to combatants. And it will automatically launch even if you don't trigger it to, which I'm going to demonstrate right now. So let's drop some enemies again. And we're going to place that super, let's say, once again, you can get really distant with this loadout of a crossbow and a bow. So here's the super. They can't shoot me behind this wall, but I can shoot them, which is beautiful. And then if I press that super button again, this is so freaking cool, bro. It has no distance, like a limit. It just fucking goes through the map, and you can see it does damage. Like, it does it, like, not crazy damage, but it does damage. So in a group setting, once again, like, if you have a Rossi-11 in your fire team, you're not going to die. I've been lucky enough to get the tier 2 already at a pretty early stage, and the second tier, casting thread flow, one of the signature abilities, grants allies within a 10-meter radius an overshield as well, equal to 50% of Rossi-11's overshield lasts for 6 seconds. So your defense character, this is known as a defense character, automatically becomes a support / defense character, which that's why I just see so much value in this compared to many others, because the only other comparison you could really make is Tan 2 currently. Aside from that, there's some side, like, small things to talk about. So there's a passive trait, which is Ionic Protection. When any of Rossi-11's abilities hit targets, they grant 1 point of passive energy up to a maximum of 9. Passive energy is converted into an overshield at 1 to 136 ratio every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. So this is just another passive way of building up that overshield aside from thread flow, where upon impact you're getting an overshield. So that's pretty cool. And then the weapon mastery, which is the final thing to cover in terms of the relic abilities, ionic protection, it'll just give more stacks of weave to the bow, so another type of stack, and that generates lightning strike, dealing 884 arc damage to combatants within a 2-meter radius. So if you play Destiny 2, this is bolt charge. Rossi-11 literally has freaking bolt charge, which is amazing, man, amazing, and that just is a very big bonus. Level 2 just increases ionic cascades damage, same thing with level 3. Level 4 will basically help with the overshield progression and your crossbow in the loadout. Your shots just have to hit, and once again bolt charge, you got lightning strike, so it would actually convert ionic cascade into an ionic, your overshield into an ionic cascade lightning strike. And then level 5, which I don't have yet, will just increase that damage by 100%, which is amazing. So for the loadout, we're using the new bow added into the game, the Yoshimoto, and it's the only bow in the game other than the exotic Trinity Gold, which most people expected because of Hellhess. And the traits and perks that you want to go for sure, the first one is ensured yields, where final blows grant the next magazine plus 75% damage after reloading. If no final blows were made with the previous magazine, then reloading will grant up to 45% damage based on the number of hits landed. So dealing plus 75% damage is already insane. Now, we didn't even talk about the artifacts yet. So the damage increases. People are probably thinking whoa, there's actually a decent amount of damage increases already happening on a defensive character, and that's why I'm making this video, because Rossi-11 is definitely S tier in my opinion, and that's why you guys should go for it. Because aside from the kit that I showed, the ability and how viable it actually is in gameplay, end game and all that, yes, it pretty much, very much is. So that is the first perk that I would say. And then the other one that the game recommends is Annihilation, where the weapon deals damage based on how low the target's health is, up to 36%. But I actually got mine with Archer's Tempo, and I really been liking it because it reduces draw time by 50%, 3 seconds after a precision hit. So it just helps you spam that your bow more consistently. And then I'm pairing that with the exotic crossbow. Yeah, use this one because it's been in the game for a while, and the best way to describe it is it's just really hard hitting, and that's what it's known for. So getting on with the artifacts to finish it off, everyone's favorite part. The first one we're using is Bulwark Evolution, where taking damage grants 1 stack of armored. Take minus 1.79% damage, so that's a damage resistance bonus, and it stacks to 20 times, which means you can get over close to 25% damage resist just for taking damage, which is okay. That's very easy to do, which is why I love it. And for the second slot, we have Pranayama, where natural health recovery interval is shortened by 70% while shielded. Now, once again, because of our threads always generating shields and overshields, and how this whole character is a defense character, the fact that we can regen our health that fast makes us always in combat ready to go. Now, getting into the last two, which are the actual juicers, the first one being Inverted Fury, gain plus 24% weapon damage bonus while being shielded. So once again, we're investing into that shielded gameplay because we know That's the kit, and we're always going to be shielded, and you're just going to get a nice 24% damage for pretty much doing nothing. Now in this gameplay, I don't even have these equipped, neither mid-max, so I'm also playing at light, like the minimum requirement, just to fully demonstrate the character in its best possible form. So once you do have all these things maxed out, you're turning your defense character into an all-rounder, and trust me, it could put out some hard hits 100%. The final artifact that we're using is Inverted Vengeance, which gain 15% damage bonus while shielded and up to 20%, and it depends on your current shield value divided by your initial shield value. It's kind of descripted weirdly, but basically you just get more damage. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of this build video and character breakdown of Rossi-11. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.